Welcome to the B&E Show, hosted by Benjamin Tansky and
Harold Capellion. How's it going, folks?
fantastic season 1, episode numero uno. We're talking about all things connectivity. Connectivity meaning everything that we use and we rely on to connect to the internet. Your phones, your laptops, your desktops, in your office, specifically for your offices. We have some pretty cool stuff lined up for today. Errol, how long have you been with Natural Wireless for?
I'm going on almost 7 years now, so we're getting up there.
7 years. If I had a button on my desk to push, it's just I have a clap.
Hey.
7 years is awesome, dude. That's crazy, especially these days.
Yeah, right. How about you?
I think I'd have to say pushing 11 and a half years. It's,
yeah.
That's a
That's
feat.
a long time, my man.
That's a feat in itself. Oh yeah, love it. I believe in fixed wireless. Fixed wireless is it's something that I always was passionate about, even when I was trying to get sold on it 12 years ago. I thoroughly believe that this is the future. This is the way connectivity is meant to happen. It's cheaper to deploy, same reliability when it's done correctly. The architecture, if everyone had the engineers and brains that Natural Wireless has, connectivity across North America would look much different, in my opinion.
I would agree. I mean, isn't it pretty prevalent in Europe by comparison? Right?
I think so. I thought there was a lot of T1s up in Europe still, but I guess there's fixed wireless everywhere. But for some reason, no one wants to talk about fixed wireless. Everyone wants to talk about fiber optic.
And that's why we got the B&E Show, baby.
That's right. There's a whole bunch of questions, I had lined up. We follow the questions. Yeah, no. Most of the time people are they have a misconception of what exactly is fixed wireless. Is it Wi-Fi? Is it a hotspot on my phone? Is it a little device, a square device that I put in my rack? Is that fixed wireless? No, the answer is no, it's not fixed wireless. I'm going to quickly show here, what does fixed wireless look like? That right there, that's fixed wireless. You see those pictures up there? That's exactly what fixed wireless looks like. No fuss, no muss. What really sets, the tone. I mean, you're in charge of operations. You do this day in and day out, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I took a bunch of these pictures.
Yes, right. What really sets us apart from every other operator out there is our design, is our network architecture, right? For Natural Wireless.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see. Yeah. Go ahead.
If you look at this, right, you're looking at like a bunch of this is 10 gig capable equipment, right? You're looking at some of the biggest rooftops in New York. You're looking at tactical deployments. Like a fiber provider can't do this.
Hold on. Exactly. These are super skyscrapers. Is that the right word? Super skyscraper. These are super tall buildings, but they're also small class A, B buildings in New York City, New Jersey, and surrounding areas. They all have the same common need. They all need to make sure their tenants are operational, and they all need to make sure that, on a landlord perspective, that their building, their assets are differentiated in a way that others can't say they have fixed wireless on the roof, for example, to ensure quality of service, path diversity.
Yeah, I'll leave you to pitch the technical benefits, right?
Oh,
but
what sales pitch, eh?
Oh yeah. But I think we should talk a little bit about what we're gonna do here. Right? This is our first show, the first B&E show, right? What are we gonna do here, right? Because we're gonna do these a lot, and this is like a spiritual successor to people that are watching to Tansky on the Rooftops, which you had a lot of success on back in the day. You should put one up. That's what we should open with. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so people who are watching, we're gonna put a poll out later on whether or not this show should open with Tansky on the rooftop clips of Ben getting blown halfway across New York. It's gonna be a good time.
It definitely would be a good time.
I think that would be a good opener. It's a good callback to a winning formula.
It is. Like I remember going on top of a crazy tall building, and it was winter. It wasn't snowing, but it was windy. And as you go up higher in these buildings, you're up on these rooftops more than me. The wind, it just bites you. It bites you, and you're
exactly.
walking.
And your first instinct is always you whip out your phone, you selfie that, you send that to everybody you know, and then you're like, all right, now I got to work. Now I got to get internet to these people. But first, Instagram.
Hit up Tansky on the rooftops.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So
let's see what you got.
Let's see. Do we got any people watching? It's always an important question.
I think we have a few people watching. Really, what's really interesting about what we do. People think fixed wireless is new, Errol. You and I both know it's not new. But do you think people know that it's fixed wireless is more than 121 years old?
I didn't know that until like 4 minutes ago. So you should. I don't think they know. You should tell them.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
Who do you think created? Who invented? Listen, let me step back a second. Has anyone heard of a Tesla, a car? Okay, I'm sure everyone has. But has everyone heard of Nikola Tesla? I hope so. Nikola Tesla actually patented and created, yes, you can read my mind, fixed wireless, but he also patented and created coax cable. So coax cable was patented and deployed in 1894. 1894. Fixed wireless, 1901. But what people don't realize is Nikola Tesla was doing both of these methods of connectivity in parallel with each other. Fascinating stuff, really, truly fascinating. If you're, a diehard fixed wireless junkie like me, let me find a cool picture. So Nikola Tesla created fixed wireless not because he was looking to do, fixed wireless as a method of connectivity. No, it was actually by accident. That's how the coolest things are created these days, or I should say back then. It was created because Nikola Tesla was trying to create wireless power transmission. Wireless power transmission. This is back in 1893. That's when he started doing this. 1893. Wild.
Yeah, it's insane.
And the byproduct of that didn't work the way he wanted it to. But what did work was the RF, the radio frequency point-to-point of fixed wireless worked back then. And who created all this? JP Morgan.
Who would have thought? $5
million in today's money. He invested in R&D technology to come up with wireless power transmission. And in effect, he got fixed wireless connectivity. And that's what we see here today. This is the actual tower in Shoreham, New York. Listen, Errol, you're from Strong Island. So,
listen. Don't be casting aspersions on Strong Island, bro. Right? My New York is gonna come out too fast.
You know where that is. You know where Shoreham is. You know where Shoreham, New York.
Oh yeah.
Is.
Well, I'm gonna try to find a modern picture of it right now. Let's see.
So that building was it was moved because RCA and Marconi took possession of the property and they dumped all sorts of bad stuff into the soil, so they couldn't make that into a museum.
Hate to see it.
But they did. They moved the building somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. I'm sure we can figure that out here.
I'm looking right now. I'll tell you.
That's what this looks like. This tower, it goes back to 1901. So when people say, oh, fixed wireless is a new technology, you don't want to, make them feel bad. But, dude, fixed wireless goes back older than our great-grandparents. Like, it's old.
Oh, yeah.
It's old.
Well, it's old, and it's obviously grown alongside technology by then. Because think about it, back then you didn't need fixed wireless because you didn't have the internet, right? But now we do. So obviously the applications for technology that started 100 some odd years ago have changed rapidly over time. Also, it looks like that tower, in like all good inventors, was scrapped for scrap metal because Tesla had so many debts that he had no choice but to do so after his death. His estate had no choice.
It was for the war effort in 1901, so World War One.
Yeah, in preparation, right? I mean, there's Tesla we could talk about forever, which is fascinating, technology and business history. But it's definitely a cool thing to realize that, like, you're looking at technology that's being applied from, like, foundational people in technology today, which is, I didn't know this. I'll take a look at this later.
Learn something new. Yeah,
learn something new every day. Like it.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is a good example of what we want to do on this show, right? Something that's not so, like, dry as, like, digging up Tesla's 1901 inventions, while exciting, right? While you and I are internet people and connectivity people, we know an insane number of technology people throughout the industry and a bunch of different industries, right? Like, I mean, we got this set up from our friends over in the event business. We got people, I think, in the event business watching this right now.
Big shout out to my boys at B Live.
Be Live. I got a shout out to my boys at Made by Wi-Fi. I think you're watching. I can't tell because LinkedIn makes it hard for me to find out. But if you're watching, I just want to test something. Write a comment somewhere on LinkedIn, and we want to see if it shows up in our studio. Otherwise, we're all going to have to start watching ourselves on LinkedIn.
Does it count if I write a comment? Does it count if I write a comment in LinkedIn?
Try it.
Oh, yeah? Let's see what happens. Let's see. Maybe Sasha. Sasha, you still online?
I see 3 people viewing, but one of them might be me.
I put a comment in.
There you go. I see you saying hello to me, which is good. All right, so it works. All right, so this is working as intended, people. Now, my question is, and we'll put a poll. We have a lot of polls after this show. It's going to be a good time. What do people want to see on this show? Because I'm thinking we'll bring guests on this show, people that we've helped out with fixed wireless over time. We got Ethan from Natural Wireless on here too, which is what we'd like to see.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Ethan's our director of networking and really our head of technology, right? This guy,
he's the brain.
He's the brain of the organization. Wow, yeah, we are the charismatic talking heads on LinkedIn, whereas Ethan actually does the work, which is good.
This makes me so nervous. Ethan's on here now. I have to be proper,
No. We'll get Ethan on this show.
I'm just being a little sarcastic. I'm Canadian.
I like it.
Come on now. Come on. Listen, I do have a question about what we do, Errol.
Yes.
Do you think there's any specific business verticals that use fixed wireless, or if I were to say hospitality, medical, financial, law, retail, transportation?
It's everybody.
You think everybody?
I mean, it should be. It should be everybody, right? But the only people that know about it now are, I would argue, more, let's call them military groups, right? Like you have high power law firms, like high power technology firms, right? They're looking for alternatives for internet, and their technology, they're tech savvy, right? So they'll go out and they'll find a system like us, which is very high end and very, capable. And part of what this show is supposed to do and will do is kind of bring the knowledge of fixed wireless to more people, right? And more businesses that understand and can learn that they have more options than, like, coax or fiber coming down the street that's not so easy to get or very, very expensive to get, or on fire, which I'm sure we'll talk about in detail.
On fire.
Many times, yes. Listen, sometimes fiber goes on fire. Sometimes it happens all the time. Sometimes it happens because of labor relations with certain groups in the city. You never know.
That's a whole other topic. That could be a whole other topic.
We should totally have people on the show that were involved in these things, because these are cool stories, right? Like, no one, we all talk about it at work, like in like 35 seconds. We're like, did you hear what happened on 23rd Street? And they're like, I did hear about it.
What happened? What happened on 23rd Street? Oh my goodness.
I'm not telling you now. No, people got to watch next episode. I just made that up as we're going. But we will have more content for people to see and bring people on. Hold on, I'm getting something here. But I would agree with you that pretty much everybody can benefit from this, because everybody needs internet, right? I mean, and we see that in our own business.
Yeah,
we have a ton of verticals, right? We have commercial verticals, we have residential, we have events, we have from A to Z here. I mean, we go from a construction company to a large investment bank, right? We go, from a small co-working space to a gigantic real estate developer, right? From the smallest buildings to
Real
the
estate
largest buildings.
developers. That's a whole other
Hmm.
topic of discussion right there.
Oh, we're gonna get some cool people on from them because listen, we just gotta get 100,000 viewers, and then we could get you know a ton of high end people from New York real estate to come on and grace
Come
us with
on,
their
give
presence.
me
It's
some
gonna be
Strong
good.
Island. Give me some of your Strong Island. Come on now. Come on now.
Nah, listen, buddy, I don't got time for that today. All right,
Listen,
now I'm gonna.
just serious.
Yep.
Just touching back on the what we do here at
Hmm.
Natural Wireless. You know, a lot of people are entering the fixed wireless game. As partners that are listening and hearing this. The incumbent carriers decommissioned their legacy copper. Basically, that was what was feeding the bread and butter for many different managed service providers across the country. But by decommissioning that fiber, the old copper, it left a lot of people with scratching their heads. Hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to continue making money? So what, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I see is I see a lot of people jumping into the fixed wireless game thinking, hey, I can slap up a couple antennas here, connect these couple of buildings together, and boom, I got some fixed wireless. I can sell it. You know, that in itself is cool. It's great. It's the American dream, really. But that's a hybrid fixed wireless position, and that's adding a layer of failure while not giving a customer what they think they're getting. Is that how you would describe hybrid fixed wireless?
I mean, it's a mix, right? I mean, what you described hybrid fixed wireless is that someone takes fiber somewhere or buys copper somewhere and then uses fixed wireless to get it to another place, right? The problem being that if that fiber on the other end of that fixed wireless is damaged in any way, not very good, legacy, your fixed wireless is still going to go down because you're just using it to get a couple of blocks over or maybe a couple of streets, that's what you're talking about, hybrid fixed wireless. But there's a lot of people in the fixed wireless space who are also hobbyists, right? So you're going to have a lot of people that like just picked up some very, entry level consumer grade stuff, slap it up there, and try to charge you a commercial circuit price, right?
Hobbyists. I like that. I like
Hobbyists,
that
yeah. And I'm
word.
not trying to be derogatory towards people that are doing good work, right? Like I'm a hobbyist with my stupid 3D printer over there. I'm never gonna be a functional 3D, and I'm not gonna sell prints commercially, but I'll do it for fun. And you'll see a lot of people will pick up, a ubiquity antenna and point it into the sky and say, "I've got background radiation and bandwidth as a result." And you're like, "All right, not good."
I mean,
Um,
I just want to always. It's difficult to have a customer say, "Hey, we tried some fixed wireless stuff from a different operator, and it was bad. We had a bad experience."
right.
At that point, my sales hat goes off, and my down to earth hat comes on, being like, "Hey, these, I'm not going to name companies, but people that are jumping into the business don't fully understand the architecture and when and where to use specific types of equipment. And you
Right.
only can learn that, right? Being in business for 18 years, like Natural Wireless is. And
Mhm. Mhm.
you learn from your mistakes. It's part of life, part of everything. But what really, what I'm trying to get to the point here is that education is key, and asking questions when you're buying fixed wireless is super important. Ask, where's the circuit going to? Where's the fixed wireless going to? Is it going back to a hardened data center? Is it going back to a nearby fiber lit building? That in itself, the answer to that question should trigger additional questions, which we can talk about later on. But that's really critical because time and time again, people will try and save a buck here and a buck there, but there's a reason why they're going to be able to save a buck here and a buck there, right? They don't have people.
Absolutely.
You don't have a network infrastructure that's built out from your premise all the way back to a hardened data center where all the carriers go back to purely over fixed wireless.
Which is what we have, by the way. I don't know if we made that clear, but that's what we do. We are 100% fixed wireless. We are not hybrid providers. We are, and that's what people like about us, right? Like there's a fire down the street, and we're running over there not because our stuff is down, but because we're trying to get everyone back up online.
You got to jump in there. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Let me
So,
ask you, where are you seeing the most wins? You know, when we sign deals, where do you see the most customers? What type of, is it like in nice fancy buildings? Is it like, you know, class A, B buildings, or C buildings? Where do you see us deploying the most? You know,
we're kind of all over. I mean, we're pretty ubiquitous, right? I mean, we're doing a lot of Class A buildings now just because of circumstances, right? But anywhere where internet and we'll talk about this later, right? Where infrastructure in this country, specifically in New York and in like the tri-state area, is actually pretty old. So it can be difficult to upgrade it, right? If you wanted to get real fiber, you wanted to get dedicated fiber, it's very expensive because you're working with pipes that are like 100 and some odd years old, or they're clay, or they're I mean, we know people out in New Jersey that are like dealing with terracotta
New
pipes. New
Jersey,
Jersey,
New
which, listen,
Jersey, eh?
we're gonna see how unintelligible I can get by the end of this.
Come on, are you from Strong
Strong
Island?
Island, bro.
Strong
Listen,
Island.
we are going to get sued by like a CrossFit on Long Island somewhere.
Shkoya,
Yeah, there we go.
Shkoya. Come on, come on.
Nah, that's gonna be
Got to
fun.
represent. Got to represent.
But
do you see roof
back to
access? Do you see roof access as issues? How do
no,
we?
no. That's our job. Our job is to but that's another perk of getting us right is we're a white glove service here. We're end to end. You sign up with us, we'll facilitate access with the building. We negotiate roof rights. The property owners like having us on their rooftops because we increase the value of their building. We make their lives a lot easier. And we're very transparent, right? So unlike a lot of big providers, which are gigantic monolithic monstrosities who can really care less what happens to you, we're a small company, right? So we have the capacity to be agile, and where they have the capacity to actually address individual customer concerns. And we do take it very seriously when we have individual customers that are facing challenges, right? And we expedite that because there's 7 people in the room and we're all accountable,
Well,
right?
it's
As
great
opposed to 70.
Yeah, I mean it's great, and it, we run point. We know how to talk to, or your team knows how to talk to landlords, building engineers, property managers, in a way that sometimes there's like a broken telephone. Sometimes people think we're putting up a Yeti dish that's like 30 feet in diameter on their roof. We've heard of that, man.
Yes, we have.
So it's just important to keep the conversation accurate the whole time,
right? And use the resources that we provide, right? I mean, it's a premium service. You get a premium experience. It's worth taking advantage of the experience and the expertise that we have. A lot of people want to do it themselves, right? They want to negotiate the roof rights for this, and you're like, you could, but why would you? You don't have to, and you can be involved. But it is definitely, I would argue, in your best interest to, use the resources you have.
Indeed.
But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff planned here. I mean, we're giving you a little bit of an overview of the company, right? What's on your mind, Ben? I see something moving over there.
No, I was just looking into the different platforms that we're streaming to.
How are we looking? Who's interested out there? Is anyone alive?
It looks like our platforms. I think there's a delay, a purposely delayed of about 10 seconds. But no, it looks great. The platforms that we decided to stream to. No, I think we should see if we can bring in some partners and have them give everyone their opinion and their perspective on what triggered them to work with the Natural Wireless family, and why they chose us over others.
Absolutely. And everyone that watches, you'll learn a lot about how internet exists today, right? Like you hear a lot about infrastructure, like this country's going to be going through a major infrastructure overhaul, supposedly, if we're lucky. And internet's going to be a big part of that. And staying ahead of internet as like a service that's going to be changing. It's not 1999. It's not 2000.
There's no bubble. There's no bubble. Can I invest in something?
There is. Oh, there's a bubble. All right, I got you. That's a different podcast that we have, or we have a TikTok financial channel. I'm kidding. No, don't do that.
Do you remember? Do you remember when we did the event at Advertising Week? So Natural Wireless has 4 divisions. Let's just step back. We have commercial, residential, events, and structured cabling. So in our events, we did Advertising Week 4 years ago, maybe, and it was when TikTok first came out and no one knew what it was.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I would love to put the picture up of the TikTok wall they built in the theater, and people are like, "Oh, what's TikTok? What's TikTok?" And then fast forward to today. Oh my goodness, please!
It was nuts. It was before TikTok got purchased, so they were doing crazy stuff. They were willing to like put 500 phones on a wall and then be like, "By the way, this all needs internet," and you're like, "Excuse me."
The phones are an inch away from each other.
And you're like, right, all right, let's do it.
That's right.
Let's get you Wi-Fi.
That was on your end. I didn't have anything to do with that. That was all you trying to figure out the connectivity piece.
We all sat there and we're like, we have 15 minutes to do this. Got it. It's a good time. I mean, they did some amazing stuff, and it's a perfect example of what you could do when you have a really good team that can look at a challenge like that and actually complete it. And we know a lot of people that we're gonna have them on the show. We have a lot of people we know, the best of the best in this business, and we're going to expose them to the world.
The events. I love doing the events. It's chaotic organization. If that's even it's like an oxymoron, really. And I gotta stop looking up because I look at the video and I see myself. I'm like, who am I looking up at? It's I gotta look straight.
This is all. Listen, we're getting there. This is gonna be a learning experience for all of us.
Indeed it is. I don't want to go into the workflow process of how it works when partners engage with us, how that works. We should do another episode on workflow and engaging with your Natural Wireless representative. But I think this is a great debut and a great season 1, episode 1.
Absolutely.
And
I think you get a little bit of what we are, where we're gonna go. We'll get some feedback from everybody. You've met both Ben and myself now.
Should we throw a little Howard Stern in there and be like, "Hey there"?
Hey, exactly. Get a nice gravelly.
Hey there. I used to live when I first moved to New York. I used to live in Watermill, and there was always this tall, lanky looking guy with like curly hair. I had no idea who this guy was, and he would always be in the grocery store in Cinderella. He was like buying meat at the counter. I guess this was before his wife forced him to go vegan and all that. But a couple times a week, I'd be ordering meat, and this tall, lanky, curly hair guy would be standing next to me, like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, what's up?" It was Howard Stern, and I had absolutely no idea who this person was, and he was probably getting the kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey there.
That's too funny. Listen, we get the viewership. We're gonna have a reunion.
Oh, it's gonna
be a good time. We got big plans here.
We'll meet up at Cinderella. We'll have a conversation over the meat counter of the shell steaks for $29.95 a half pound.
Oh yeah. Well, this has been fun, people. So let's meet back same time next week when we got an outro and everything.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we can wrap it up. I mean, it's been 28 minutes and 50 seconds. I don't like to do them too long, like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it could be a little strenuous.
We all actually have to work as well. Like there are things that we all have things that we got to do.
This is work. That's true. Us, there are people in our waiting room ready to come on. We're not going to bring anyone online right now. I see a few people here right now. Let's wait till the next show to bring you guys online. And for our guest speakers, get ready. Get ready.
Oh yeah. It could be a good time, people. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Errol.
I'm Benjamin Tansky, and this is the
B&E Show, baby.
All right. Now go sell something. All right. Take care, everybody.